Alright guys, so today we're going to be installing this Zoom Engineering push start for my NA8. Now you can order this for an NA6, just make sure that you order the correct one for your application because they are different. I think the differences are within the pigtail right here, this adapter. So just make sure that you order the correct one. I bought this through Rev9 and it took about 2 weeks to get from Japan. Because of COVID and whatnot, but I think in normal situations this probably takes about a week or so. The push start itself is very nostalgic. It's rectangular. It fits on the left hand side of your lighter, so if you have an open spot there, all you do is pop that off, pop this in, and you're ready to go. But depending on your options in your car, you might have that spot taken. The wiring on here is very simple. You got an eyelet right here that goes to a ground, and this guy right here plugs into the harness right here. All right, and that's pretty much it. You get this adapter that's basically your jumper cable. This side right here plugs into the back of your ignition, pretty much your ignition switch, and this right here goes to the stock wiring harness. All right, and then you plug in the switch here, and that's pretty much it. This is an all-in-one solution if you want to do a push start for your car. Now I know some people have retrofitted the S2000 push start with relays and whatnot and wiring, but that requires you to cut things and whatnot. For 99 bucks, I think this is the best solution because it's easy, it's plug and play, and it's reversible. If you do the S2000 setup, you have to cut things and whatnot, and it's not reversible. I do have the S2000 setup for my car, but I didn't install it because when I found this out, I was like, dude, that looks freaking awesome. And it's very period correct. It's very 90s, and nothing's cooler than basically making your car period correct. So I went this route, and the S2000 setup I have is basically just sitting on my shelf waiting for something else. So we're gonna install this today and see how it works. I think it'll be pretty easy. It should take about 30 minutes max, really. Because I'm filming, it's gonna take me like an hour or so, but pretty simple. Get your switch, you got your jumper cable, it's plug and play, you click that on there, and you're good to go, hopefully. Let's go see. So before we start, I wanna make sure that you guys see this diagram right here that comes with the kit. The instruction says you pop out the cover right there. Number 2, you slide the cover out. There goes number 3. You slide the wiring harness through. Number 6 right there. Number 7, that's how it should look like. And then the ground looks like it goes to that stud that's on top of the, basically the bar that goes under the steering column. And then here's the actual diagram of the process. Pretty damn easy, basically like what I said. You get the pigtail, you put it right in the middle, and everything is put together that way. So just FYI. So before we install anything, we want to make sure that we have space for the switch. So as you can see over here, I got one free space. This right here is my defroster that I just installed recently with the OE wiring and the OE relays and whatnot. This is obviously your light dimmer. On the other side here, you can see that you have the lighter, and then I have power mirrors, so that's right here. But since I removed my power mirrors for manual carbon fiber ones, I'm gonna take that out and then basically use that spot for the switch. Now, we're gonna undo the bottom cover right here so we can reach the ignition switch wiring harness, and then we can get started. So my setup's a little bit different when taking off this cover. I used an M5 button head right here. So for me, I need an M5 socket to take this off. For your use, it might be different, but for me, it's an M5 socket. I think the stock is a Phillips screw, maybe? I forgot. But just remove the bottom cover as you see it there, okay? This should just pop out. There you go. Take this off. So just above this wiring cluster, you'll find this guy. This is basically your ignition switch connector, and this black pigtail right here, you just disconnect this. All right, there you go, done. Next thing, we're gonna put that pigtail that we got from Zoom between here and here. So since I had a free spot right here, I took off that cover. I'm gonna take my mirror switch, put it right here. That way, if I need it in the future, I still have it. All right, there you go. If you're wondering how this one pops out, you press the tops right there and the bottoms. Slightly different from the other one, which is the corners. See that right there? All right, so we're gonna take this guy right here and I'm gonna move it to the left side of the console here. Since we're not gonna use this, I'm just gonna put it on this corner right here. That way we have something blocking this giant hole. There you go. Next step here, we're gonna take our push start and our bezel from the other side, and I'm gonna put the wiring through right here. All right, we're gonna pull this guy through, and there you go. And then we're just gonna press it in. It should go through, should. I have no idea. There you go. Cool. So it's engaged right there. And on this side, we're gonna take the wire, we're gonna route it through here. We're gonna pull it through. Okay, and then we're just gonna situate our push start. Cool, nice and solid. All right, we're almost done. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna install this jumper harness. This side goes to the ignition switch. This side goes to the harness, the OE harness that is, and then this pigtail will go to the push start. So under the steering column, you're gonna see this white pigtail with a black harness. What we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect the black harness right here, which we did earlier, and we're gonna take the adapter that comes with a kit, and this side obviously goes here, and the other side right here goes to the black part of the harness. This is gonna be a little tricky to see because it's a little bit tight here, but here's the connector, boom, hear that click, and then we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna route him through. Like I said, it's a little tight here depending on your setup, and if you have anything attached to your wiring like an alarm or whatnot, this might be a little tricky, but we'll see if I can get it on camera here regardless. Okay, I'm gonna try to get this to go like this. Okay, so that's connected. It's pretty tight down here, just saying, so you might need to wiggle things around. And then this pigtail right here, you have enough. They give you a lot of room. We're gonna connect this guy right here, like so. And then this is the only thing we need to ground. So I'm gonna take out one of the bolts down here and ground this dude. So in the back right here, you can see an M6 1.0 button head that's connecting the negative ground cable from the switch to the chassis. There's a hole there already. All I had to do is put a nut on the other side and connect it. Now, if you look closer here, this is the main harness, and this wire right here, this is actually the trigger with the white connector from earlier, and I basically just cut it in half to clean it up a little bit, and I soldered it directly on there. The spare wiring that I removed, it's basically pretty lengthy. Check this out. This is extra wire that I removed. Now, I wanted to get rid of all this stuff right here because I don't like too much wire under there, and I think Zoom Engineering just makes these a little bit longer for everyone depending on their use. So my setup right here, nice and clean. I like it. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put this back together and then we're gonna test it. Right, so we get our key, fire everything up, gauges work, everything's good. Okay, car's on neutral, let's test. Woo! Baby! She is alive. Now, I'm gonna show you guys my kill switch. Kills everything. Pretty awesome. Not a bad day's work, guys. Good job. Woo! 45 minutes, baby. Now, if I wasn't filming, I think I could have done this in 15, but the filming takes forever. The trickiest part of the install, I think, is popping out the power mirror control panel, because man, you need like small fingers to get in there, because those the release clips, total nightmare to take off. You don't know about that because I didn't show it, but if you were here, you would have heard a lot of things. So I got extra wire right here in my hand. Why? Because I took out my power mirror control module on that side, which means I can put the push start switch on the right hand side, which makes sense because if you have the key right there, you want to just have the push start right there. Now, if you have power mirrors still on your car, you're going to need that control panel, which means you're going to have to put the push start on the left hand side. That's the same spot that I took out that blanking cover by your dimmer. All right, so that's why they make this wire extra long for you people that have power. Now, since I don't, I cut it because I want to make things tidier. The tidier, the better. It doesn't look like a rat's nest every time I go in there. So the quick process rundown on the setup: take out the steering column cover, take out the ignition switch harness, plug in the connector, ground the wire, connect the switch, and you're done. It's super easy. I would rate this a 1 out of 5 difficulty, to be honest. All right, so now if you want to order this kit, you can go to rev9.com and pick the color you want. You could go blue, red, gray, and NA6 or NA8. That's a big deal right there. You need to make sure that you have the NA6 or NA8 kit matching your car, because I think the wiring is different. All right, and that's pretty much it. It comes from Japan, DHL. You get a freaking packet of candy, and everything's pretty easy to do. As you can see, it took me no less than 45 minutes while filming. So the trickiest part, I would say, again, I'm not sure if I said it, the trickiest part is literally pulling that control panel for your power mirror. Now, if you don't have power mirrors there, it's even easier for you to just take it. Now, if you're thinking, oh, I'm just gonna take that power mirror control panel and move it to the left-hand side, you can't, because the harness is there, and unless you wanna lengthen the harness, which is gonna be a total nightmare, you're just gonna have to put it on the left-hand side. It's not a big deal. Now, I do have the S2000 setup for this car. Now, the push start setup for the S2000, the relays and everything, but I think the Zoom Engineering setup looks a little bit more period correct, I say, like I said earlier. It's period correct, it's very 90s. It's an OE shape that goes into an OE location, so I think it's a pure win. You know, not a lot of people have it, and if you do have it, that's awesome. Let me know what you think about the kit. But other than that, we're done for the day. I showed you my new RS Refine gauge rings with its own glass. That's awesome. And then my kill switch, which is awesome because look at this. If there's a fire, boom, killed the power of my car, baby. Life's good.